Hi everybody. So I decided I'm gonna stop beating around the bush and I'm just gonna tell the universe everything that I have to tell it, starting with I wrote down a list of all the stuff that I was gonna talk about. So just give me a second. Okay, so yeah, love is the answer. That's the title of this. Let's get into it, because I'm just gonna tell everything. I don't care if it's not smooth. I don't care if it is smooth. We just jumping into this mug. So we starting off with my past life regression. I had a past life regression. It was during our meditation. I'll put the YouTube video that I used that was recommended. I did the meditation. How the meditation starts is I opened this door, and when I opened this door, it was a light, and I went through the light. And when I went through the light, I was like looking at my hands, and my hands were huge. It was like I was a man in that life. My hands were huge, and I was far from the ground, but I had on like church shoes. I had on like a fitted suit. And in the past life regression, it takes me to my favorite memory from that life and how I died in that life. So my favorite memory from that life was my wife was in the hospital, and she was wearing a beautiful like Easter purple hijab, and she had just given birth to our daughter. Now, what's significant about my wife in the hospital is that the person who my wife was, the soul that was in my wife's body, was also my ex's soul, if that makes sense. So I had a dream before I had this past life regression where me and my ex were running into rooms, and I was in each room. That it was a big house, and we kept running into rooms, sitting down, looking at each other. And when I look at him in his eyes, I basically felt the presence of his soul through his eyes. Now, in this past life meditation, when I went to my favorite memory, I was looking at my wife holding our baby that she had just given birth to. And once I looked into her eyes, basically the same thing that was ignited in the dream was ignited in that past life regression. Then it takes us to how I died in that life. Now, how I died in that life, I had went to, like the end of a block to smoke a J. Am I allowed to say that on TikTok? Well, I said it. And it could be a J, it could have been a cigar, I don't know. But while I'm at the end of the block now, basically police pull up in a car, shoot me in my stomach, and my body is just floating. And as my body is floating, I'm looking at my dead body. My soul is floating, and I'm floating. And then I come to the sky, and as I come to the sky, a goddess appears, and I'm just turned. I'm like, why? But why? Why would this happen? And she says, look down. And I look down, and I see basically all of my community coming to see what the F happened, because I was a community man in this life. And she told me, the goddess tells me, because you lived a life of love, when you passed away, that love affected every single body's life that you touched, that you instilled the love in. So basically, because I lived a life of love, my sacrifice was enabled by that love, if that's making sense. All right, now hold on to that. I want to talk about that grandmother energy, that goddess energy, that energy that was in the sky. Let me finish the story. She actually, after she says that, she actually sends me to my next life. I go back into the same light that I came out of, and that light that she sends me through, I end up coming out my mom in this life womb. And when I came out of my mom's womb, how my soul entered my body was I took my first breath after I went through that light, and all I could feel was my mom felt kind of lost. And I felt like she felt like she was lost, because this world indoctrinates us to not be ourselves. So I feel like it was like the indoctrinated version of my mom versus now, where me and my mom have really been doing a good job breaking this generational curse. Anyhow, that grandmother presence in the sky, it really is significant to me, because I just want to talk about like something else that I have viewed that align me with that same grandmother energy. Dang, Maya, you just stumbling over your effing words. Get it together. Hold on. So the other thing that I want to talk about is 2 things about that grandmother energy that I want to talk about. When I first ever started like my spiritual journey and I got a bunch of crystals and stuff, it's not to say that crystals don't work. Crystals do work, but they work in the sense that they work based off the power that you give them. So you can enable your spiritual journey without items or tool. But that's really what jump-started my spiritual journey. I got a bunch of crystals. And the day that I got that bunch of crystals, I charged it under a pink moon. And that night I had a dream where I met, and I was 17, 18. That night I had a dream where I met my tons of great-great-grandmother. But I didn't know it was my great-great-grandmother. I'm going to explain the dream. So in the dream, I just enter a bedroom. And when I entered this bedroom, there's a bunch of photos on a dresser, like a bunch of framed photos on a dresser. But the dresser is mad long. Like it extends this way. It extends this way. It's just mad long. Like you can't even see where the dresser ends and it begins. But yet it's in this bedroom. So I'm looking at the photos, but I don't see the faces of any of the people in the photos. This older woman comes into the room and she's like, "Do you know who I am?" And I'm like, "No." She was like, "Look at the photos again." And I look at the photos again, and then the photos, the picture starts to present itself, and it's basically my family bloodline. All of the photos are just now appearing, and I'm seeing photos of myself, photos of everybody in my family. And then she was like, "I'm your tons of great-grandmother." I wake up from the dream, and that was the dream that I had the night that I would say that I really started my spiritual journey. Another thing I wanted to add is I watched this psychic. Her name is Sloan Bella. If you don't F with psychics, that's on you. I don't care, but I watch her, okay? I don't mean to be biased, but I'm going to be biased. I watch everybody that I personally know from her YouTube page. And the video that resonates with me, that resonates with this grandmother energy, is Aaliyah. She has a video of Aaliyah on her page, and she says when Aaliyah passed over, it's like her soul jumped into a grandmother energy. And I resonated with that. I felt in alignment to that message because I myself resonate with that energy. All right, now that I got that out of the way, I have one more thing to talk about, and it's my ex dream. The same ex that was in that past life regression, where I saw there's soul in that person. He had a dream like Martin Luther King, but he had a dream that resonates and coincides with Love is the Answer, because that's what I'm calling this video. Love is the answer. But let me just take a pause and get myself together and tell y'all the dream. This was around the same time of the meditation as well. Like the same exact week is when he had this dream. Now, before he had this dream, I was at he did something before he had this dream. I was at my mother's house. I was teaching my little baby sister how to write her name, spell her name. And he came to come pick me up from my mother's house. And when he came to come pick me up from my mother's house, he had some flowers in the passenger seat. And I'm like, "Oh, are these for me?" And he was like, "No, they're not." And I was like, "Oh, then who are they for?" And he was like, "They're actually for your mom." And he got out of the car and he gave it to my mom. And my mom was surprised. I'm surprised, but she was grateful. And I'm like, "Wow, that was very, very sweet of you." He said, "Yeah, he doesn't know what made him feel like he should do that, but something pushed him to go do that." And I said, "That's real." And then I would say that night, that same freaking night, he had a dream, and then he woke up out of his dream to tell me the dream. I guess I'm going to have to make another video and talk about his dream, okay? I'm hoping that the videos post like how they supposed to post and don't give me no problems. I also hope that I know that the video will reach the right people that it's supposed to reach. Now, before I start telling my ex's dream, I want to say that me and my ex don't have no hate for each other. We would never ever get back together, but it's respect from me to him, and I know there's respect from him to me as well. Anyways, let me get into the dream. So he woke up and he was like, "I just had a dream that me, your mom, your baby sister, and my middle brother was like in a simulation, and then we came to a arena at the end of that simulation where all of us were getting our hearts judged. If our hearts, the person who was judging their hearts, if our hearts is 50% or over, then we pass. But if our hearts are 50% or below, then we don't pass. Don't pass means they go through the process again. Now, he mentions that there was 2 past versions of myself that were basically split. 2 past versions of myself that did not make it, and they were split 50-50%. But the present me right now was not there at all, because I basically reached 100% and I made it. And I believe that what he's saying is true, because I experienced the light body. And if anybody wants to know what the light body is, just go watch my previous video. Thank you. And that's not to say that I'm holy or above anybody. It's just to say that I am continuously practicing and trying my best to live in love and live with love always. Even when I mess up, because I'm human, guys. I'm human. So now the person is giving out the heart percentage, which I feel like if anybody is tracking, all the seekers who are hearing what I'm saying, I feel like I know that this will somewhat resonate to Osiris, who judges the hearts or rates the hearts. Oh my gosh, it's 222 right now. Anyways, so they begin to give out the percentage of the hearts. The heart percentage for his brother is like 74. The heart percentage for my sister is 84. And then he gets to my mom, and he was like, because you gave her those flowers yesterday, it boosted her heart enough to reach over the minimum needed for her to pass. And I genuinely feel like it's still 222. Wow. I genuinely feel like after he gave my mom those flowers, my mom felt more warm. I don't know if she's going through her own, but to me, my mom did change. Anyhow, they come to him and they say, based off of me, he could either reach 0% or 100%. And we not together no more. So I'm just playing. I genuinely feel like because we experience one another, he will go on his own path and journey and reach that 100%. I feel like it was needed for us to experience one another in this life for that to even happen, if that makes sense. But yeah, then he wakes up and he tells me this dream. And Maya, why are you telling all of this? I'm telling you all of this now because I genuinely, this is the message. The message is love is the answer. Okay, that's the message. Why I told my past life regression is because I lived a life of love, and the goddess who I think is Isis in this, I said Isis. Is it Isis? Yeah, Osiris and Isis. Yeah, which is, that's so crazy that they named a terrorist organization off of a goddess. Almost like they didn't want us to focus on her. Because we love saying Heavenly Father, but the gag is. Anyways, I don't even think any spiritual being is really a gender. I believe that they come as, well, I guess you could feel the feeling. I'm not even going to get into that. Let me stay focused. Okay. The overall message is love is what will save us. Okay. Was that the message? I'm sorry. The message was love is the answer. Why I told the past life regression is because what did the goddess say in that past life regression? She said, I lived a life of love, and because I lived a life of love, my death was in honor of that love, right? So it affected all the other people. And then the dream that my ex had, he did a good thing, and it helped raise somebody else's vibration. So follow me here. Why love is the answer is because if we all continuously decide to choose love, we can somehow raise the vibration that is here on earth. You get me? So if you can go out and do something and do one thing that's kind, if you can go out and do something kind, it will raise the vibrational, it will raise the vibration of earth. You get the motherfucking message. The motherfucking message is choose love always. All right, y'all. Tomorrow I'm going to tell y'all, I literally have stuff written down to tell you guys, because your girl has been holding this in, but you know, I have a Gemini rising that's in my first house, and that's attached to my Saturn. So a lot of things are changing, and I'm ready to open up my fat mouth. And so tomorrow I'm going to describe what is love, because our society does not have a straightforward answer to what is love. And I feel like because we're living in so much confusion, motherfuckers is just going off of the version that their parents gave them. Baby, the version that your parents gave you is an indoctrinated version. It's not the real definition. You can agree with me or disagree with me when I give you the definition, but this is what I believe the definition is, based off of all of my spiritual alignment that has led me to finding this definition. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna talk about tomorrow. See you guys later.